So hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today in this video I'm going to review the most requested RisingOS version 1.3.1 Damascus for Realme 6 and 5 devices, which includes the mentioned devices. So this was the most requested ROM in my poll that I given in my community section. So just like other ROMs, let's start with the settings UI. So the settings UI looks like this, and yes, this ROM has lots of customization. I will show that later. So this is the settings UI, and if I go to about phone, you can see it's RisingOS 1.3.1. Here is some details about the processor, storage, etc. The Rising version is, you can see, 1.3.1 Damascus, and this is GApp's build, and the kernel that is used in this ROM is the lineage kernel. It's something called GApp, 71, etc. Now in system we get some options, like in buttons we can invert the layout if we use navigation buttons here. Then we have the edge long swipe action, which is working fine. You can see the torch is turning on and off, and you can also customize the action that is to be taken. Then we have the power menu. Here we get the advanced restart. Then we have screenshot, and this option is mandatory because sometimes I have noticed sometimes the screenshot does not work when we just press the volume down and power button simultaneously. So this option should be in every ROM, and I think it is. Then we have reorient, so panel, quick to partial screenshot, etc. Now in system profiles we get these profiles. Then in gestures we get the touchscreen gestures. Here you can customize the actions, and this section was crashing in the last build. It's now fixed. So we have quick tap to start actions. Here you can turn on the screenshot by double tap, you can see. Then we have quickly open camera, system navigation, one-handed mode, press and hold power button, and you can turn on the digital assistant from this button. Now in system navigation we have 3-button navigation, which is by default set, and I changed it to gesture navigation, but once I turned off these settings, that's why it's not showing right now. Now in the gesture navigation we can customize the pill length, navigation hint, and you can turn off the navigation hint. If you turn off the navigation hint, the IME button space under the keyboard gets hidden, so this is useful option. Now here in this ROM we get the USB configuration. Here you can choose any of this without clicking on the notification in the quick setting panel. Then we have the Realme settings in this ROM. Now in the Realme settings we get the smart charging, and even we get charging control in this ROM, just like lineage OS 20. So that's a good feature. Like if I show you by connecting the charger, you can see adaptive charging enabled. That means the charging control turned on. Then we get the performance profile, clear speaker, CABC mode, the refresh rate, and we get the MTK engineering mode here. So if we open it, you can see it says you have to enable developer option at the settings, but I don't know why it is not working because I have the developer option turned on. If I go to settings, you can see I have developer option turned on, but still the option is not working. If I go to the MTK engineering mode, so there's some glitch in this section. And here is developer information. So this ROM is made by Go Far Away, thanks to him. Now in the security, here is a catch. We get the face and fingerprint unlock, but after using this phone for a while, you will see that the fingerprint function is not working. Then when you come to here, the face and fingerprint section, you will see there is no fingerprint added. It will say add fingerprint. Now when you click agree and try adding a fingerprint, it will say fingerprint setup timed out, fingerprint enrollment did not work, etc. So that's a major bug that I got in this ROM, and this issue used to come in the older Android 12 builds, and this ROM also have that bug, which is very annoying. And we have the app lock. Now in the screen lock we get all these options just like other ROMs, but in the face and fingerprint we have the face unlock, which is the only option you can use in your daily life. So here is app lock, and when you go to here, you have to enter your pattern or face lock. Then you can add any apps in the protected app list, and that app will activate the app lock. In more security settings we have these options. Now in sound and vibration, the UI looks pretty much different, just like other options that we saw earlier. Here we get the notification volume, the ring volume, and the link, ring and notification volume option. Then we have the increasing ring volume, just like Realme Ui, and this is pretty useful option. Then we have the phone ringtone. Then the system haptics. and I did not notice any vibration issue in this ROM. The vibration intensity is optimum. It's not weak, it's just working perfectly fine. Then we have the QS style haptics intensity, edge scrolling haptic intensity. So we can customize the vibration intensity of all the sections in this ROM. Then we have the notification sound, default alarm sound, per app volume control, the charging sounds, change the charging sound from here. Now the storage UI looks like this. Now talking about the battery backup is pretty normal. It's not extraordinary and not poor also. We get around 6 hours of screen on time and a full day of battery backup. If we go to battery usage, you can see for now we are getting 5 hours 46 minutes of screen on time, but for few minutes I have charged the phone basically connected to PC. That's why here is a spike in the graph, and the battery UI looks pretty cool. In notification we get the skip lock screen option, and we have the heads up disable option, but the heads up does not work even if you keep it on or turn it off. The heads up will not work. So that's a minor bug that I get in this ROM. Although I will talk about the bugs and features in a different section, so wait for that. Now in the wallpapers we get 4 options, and in my case here is 4 applications installed, that's why it's showing 4 options. Now in the display the UI looks like this, and we have lock screen, screen timeout, dark theme, night light, and the colors. Now in the colors we get the RGB color space. Here you can do color correction of your display. Now in rotational settings you can enable 180-degree rotation, which will work like this. Here is nothing left to talk about. Now in the network and internet we get the connectivity check, the private DNS, and in private DNS we get plenty of options. And talking about the network was really fine. I did not face any issue using the Wi-Fi and mobile data. In connected devices we get all the stock settings. Here is nothing extra. Now here it comes the personalization section, which is the customization section in this ROM. In the first button we get the about info. Here we have option to go to the official website, current changelog, etc. Then we have the lock screen, and in lock screen we have AOD for charging only. Then we have the edge light, then the pocket detection, vibration authentication, battery info, etc. And you can also customize the lock screen clock style and the lock screen date font style. And here's plenty of options. Now in miscellaneous we have the game space, and in game space you can add the games, and we have these options. Now in Google services you can turn off the Google services, but it may cause problems. If you face any problem after turning off this option, you will have to reset, so that's a catch. Now in the parallel space you can use different accounts of a same application. Then we have the smart pixels, which is not useful for LCD screens because it's basically for AMOLED displays. You can see it just disables the pixels of a particular space. If you look closely, the pixels are disabled, and you can also customize the intensity. So this is pretty useful option for the AMOLED display smartphones, not for Realme 6. Now in system manager you can customize everything like turn off mobile data, turn off Wi-Fi, etc. And we have the unlock higher FPS in games, Google cameras proof, unlimited photo storage, and Netflix proof. So these are some useful options. And talking about the Google photo storage, it's actually working. If you see here, this pixel can back up unlimited photos and videos. Then we have the hide IME button space. So yes, this is a dedicated option for IME button space, but every time if you customize a setting, you need to do system UI restart. And sometimes during system UI restart it actually reboots the phone, so that's an issue. And you can customize the Android P animation style from here. Then the default screen of animation, which will looks like this, and the UI is too much laggy. I hope you can see the UI is too much laggy. You can see the CRT animation looks like this. Now in the notification we have the reticker, the noisy notification, the heads up, the clear all button, etc. You can see the back button is not even working sometimes. Now in the quick setting we have the battery percentage, then the battery style, position, columns, QS dual tone, data usage, etc. And here is QS header image. If you turn it on, the header will look like this. I have added a picture of Black Panther, and in white mode, I mean in light theme, the header does not look that good. If you turn on the dark theme, it looks pretty sick. You can see. Now in sound we have some options. In the status bar we have battery bar, battery style, battery percentage, the 4G icon, the network traffic indicator, the Wi-Fi standard, logo. You can also customize the logo style. You can see the touch is not working. So I don't know what's the problem with this ROM. There's too much issue that I faced in this ROM. Now in the user interface you can customize the font style, and in the font style we get the Nothing OS font. Then we have the monet settings, navbar style, Wi-Fi icon style, and a plenty of options. So this is it for the customization settings. Now let's get to the launcher. We have the Ortus launcher in this ROM, and in the icons we get these options. In the home screen we have these options: wallpaper scrolling, wallpaper zooming, etc. In the gesture settings we have these gestures, but this does not work. I have tested. And in app drawer we get an option called icon labels in drawer. If we turn it on, the icon labels will be displayed in the drawer, and if we keep it off, then it will look like this. And you can also customize the background opacity. In the recents we get the memory info, and the recent style looks like this. You can see we get the current RAM info and screenshot, lock. We have the split screen option, then we have the Google Lens and the kill, and the kill button is pretty useful. Now in the about we get these options. Now let's talk about some performance section. If I go to the photos, so this was the performance without any script or without any performance mode. So you can see the CPU throttled only 82% of its maximum performance, and when I used the performance script I got this much performance. The CPU throttled 93% of its maximum performance, and here is random fluctuations in the graph, which I don't like actually. Now let's talk about the bugs and features. So as I said, the first one is the heads up does not work. No matter you turn it on or off, the heads up will still not work. Now the second bug is the Google Contact Sync. So after setting up this ROM, make sure the Google Contact Sync is turned on. For that you have to just go to settings and just search for contact, and make sure that Google Contact Sync is turned on. Otherwise you will only see numbers in WhatsApp. Basically it's the WhatsApp that's the most problem if the contact sync is not working. And the third one is the fingerprint enrollment. As I said earlier, the fingerprint does not work after using this ROM for a while. The fourth one is the home gesture stops working when you play with customizations, and this happens sometimes, so this is not that annoying. And here's one option that I forgot to talk about, is the volume panel style. So the default volume panel style looks like this. If we change it to Realme Ui style, it will look like this, which actually does not work like Realme Ui, but still the Rising UI looks like this, and we have gradient which looks like this. So that's how it works. Now coming back to the bugs, the fourth bug is not working currently because that sometimes occurs and sometimes doesn't, so I cannot show you that bug. Now talking about the pros in this ROM, the first one is the HDR playback. So if I play an HDR video, you will see the HDR is working perfectly fine, you can see. So that's the first pro of this ROM. And the second one is the Google photo storage that I showed you earlier. And the third one is the call recording. So if I show you the caller screen, you can see we have the call recording option, and I have turned on the auto call recording. That's why it started the call recording automatically. And the last one is the multiple gaming options. As I showed you in the personalization, we have the game space in this ROM, and in game space we get lots of options. Even if we go to system and Realme settings, we get performance profile, CABC mode, etc. And in the customization section I found an option to optimize the gaming, but currently I cannot find it. So these are the pros and cons that we get in this ROM. Now for battery backup, I will rate this ROM around 6 out of 10 because it's not that good because of customization. For smoothness, I will rate this ROM 2 out of 10 because it's actually worse. The UI lag is too much in this ROM. So 2 or 2.5 is the maximum I can give to this ROM. Now talking about the features, I can give 5 out of 10. Actually 6 out of 10 because we get a lot of customization option in this ROM. And talking about the performance, In performance, I cannot give this ROM more than 3 because as we saw in the performance over time graph, it was worst that I saw. So this was the ratings that I can give this ROM, and you can see during the review the battery percentage even dropped to 15%. Earlier it was on 20 to 22%, I guess. So that's the thing. Now let's get to a quick gameplay. So guys, you can see here I have started the BGMI, and currently I am not using any script, and I would like to use the Realme settings performance mode. So let's set this to performance. And the RAM management is so poor that you can see it was just running. After opening the settings, it was crashed. So it's opening again. And friends, during the compilation, let's talk about the game mode. So this is the game tile or game mode, whatever you can say. So in the settings we get the mode, the FPS info, the stay awake button, and the notification mode. And in the top section we can see the time, temperature, and the battery percentage. And in the bottom we can see the RAM usage. And here we have two options, the screenshot and screen record. So these are also working. So keep an eye on the FPS info. So the graphics settings that we get is 90 fps, you can see. So let's play 90 fps. The maximum graphics is, I think, HD. Yes, in balanced we get ultra, and in smooth we get maximum 90 fps. So let's play a quick PDM, and you can see the notification is coming in Damascus mode. And friends, please notice the FPS from here.
Team match, let's go.
The blue team has scored for the first time!
No mercy!
So guys, you can see the FPS meter just stuck on 60 fps. So this is not reliable. So let's turn on the GApp mark. So guys, you can see I have turned on the GApp mark. Now we can see accurate FPS of the game. So let's start another match.
Team match, let's go.
You can see the graphic settings is still on 90 fps. So let's see the performance.
The blue team has scored for the first time!
Clear! Target down!
So as you can see, we are getting too much lag while using the system performance mode. It's 90 fps, but we are getting barely 15 to 30 fps, sometimes 40.
Dead!
use the performance script. So the performance script is now applied. Now let's see the performance, and before that let's turn on the BGMI from GApp mark. So currently I am using the performance script and the system performance mode is turned on. I mean the performance profile is set to performance. Now let's start another match. And now you can see we are already getting around 90 FPS. So let's see the performance in the gameplay.
Team match. Let's go.
The blue team has scored for the first time!
Cover me.
Blue team is unstoppable!
Reloading. No mercy. Dead. Cover me. Reloading. Enemy down. Cover me. Reloading.
Marked a location.
Nice shot. Clear. Cover me. Nice shot.
The blue team is in the lead.
Target down. Enemy down. Target down.
Killing spree for the blue team!
Dead.
Watch out!
So after using the performance script, we are getting 60 to 70 FPS, sometimes 80 FPS when the load is low. But in front of enemies, we are getting around 60 to 70 FPS, and currently the FPS is around 60 to 65. So this is the performance that we get in this ROM. So if you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss the updates. And if you are new to my channel, you can watch the Realme 685 device related videos in my channel, and there is some playlist that you can also check out. So this is it for this video. I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.